Welcome back to AirTac Hunting. It is a extremely stormy day. We've got a cold front that's coming through. It rained this morning. It is heavy wind, so we've got the heavy slug shooters, Fat Bastard and the 800mm impact M3. So they should do the job. We're going to keep it close in between the trees because anything else would just be luck. So yeah, sit back and enjoy. This drone footage is actually from 2 episodes back where we deployed the same strategy between the trees and buildings trying to get away from the wind. Today is much worse, but we're gonna make it work. Right before we start this video, you'll see me jump to this shot quite often in this video. We did try and record a lot of stuff on the farm, but the wind was just too hectic. The camera was being pushed around by the wind because we had this massive windsock on there. But even the windsock wasn't enough to drown out the horrible wind noise from the wind. So yeah, we just decided to come to the studio and to re-record everything here. So let's continue with the video. We got the tables out and it wasn't long before the first shot went down. Got him. 68 meters. It's like the Patriot boat. A lot of motion up there, so you got to time it actually very perfect. So I just waited for a little bit of a dull in the wind and got him down. We quickly realized that it's not going to be an easy day.
I say, I had to wait for the wind there to blow him straight into the crosshair, and then I took the shot. That's one down.
Tillman's strategy works out great and he hits this one with a solid thud. He also manages to follow this one all the way down. The 2 guns we're going to use today are both impacts. You all know Fat Bastard. That's my old FX Impact X, which I heavily customized. So I've drilled out the transfer port, I put a heavier hammer spring and a hammer in there. Yeah, so just to bring the power all the way up. So this gun is shooting 40 grain slugs at 1,000 feet per second. It's got a lot of power and it is deadly accurate with a 700mm barrel. The next gun is also an impact, this time the M3, the new one, with the 800mm barrel with a Hein Frommann tension system on there. This gun isn't customized at all. It's got the standard dual transfer, FX dual transfer ports in there, and standard hammer spring, standard hammer, everything. But the thing that gives it more power here is that 800mm barrel. So with this gun I can get the 34 grain javelins, the 218s, up to 1,030 feet per second. That's also a lot of power, and that's what you want in wind like this, a flat trajectory and a slug with a very good BC. Meanwhile, Maggie was getting ready to take the next shot.
$70
The wind pushed this one a little bit more than Maggie anticipated, but luckily these javelins are very forgiving. $60 meters. I had to wait for the wind to clear the wire there for me, but yeah, he's down. A solid impact right in the back of the neck and the tail flares out. Another tip for shooting in the wind is to set out certain locations where you want to shoot these birds. So check out your area, see where they like to land, and then before they go and land there, or even while they're there, shoot some practice shots onto trees or things in the vicinity and see where you are hitting, so you can build up that feeling of how much you have to hold for the wind in that direction. And get a few of those spots ready and try and use those locations to your advantage. To randomly just pick a spot and trying to hit something at distance with wind like this is going to be very difficult. So yeah, get some practice shots in, see where the hold is, and do it that way. Solid shot, 93 meters. Also waited for the wind to calm down a bit and then timed the shot perfectly. It is so satisfying to hit a bird at distance, especially in conditions like this. The wind caught our Tillman a little bit here and the shot went a little left, but it still went through the lungs and it doesn't take long before this pigeon runs out of air. It also looks like the spine is damaged, and this is indicated by the hanging legs. Tillman also did an excellent job again by following this one all the way down in the scope, and believe me, this is not an easy task. Now this is where BC comes in. A slug with a good BC is going to help you a great deal in wind like this, because that feeling that you build up, there's less variables when the BC is good. In other words, the wind will push it around less, which means there's less calculation you have to do on your side to try and get that shot to hit. You can just estimate easier, things like that. So, and try and get the speed up as well. Try and shoot them as fast as possible, because that will also limit the time the slug interacts with the wind until it gets to its target.
Yeah, that was like a super hit.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. The Javelin with its excellent BC doesn't care much about that big gust that came through and even blew Maggie's cap off. We got him, 51 meters. It's really difficult with this wind. We might have to call it because it's getting a bit ridiculous. It's dust in your eyes and everything, but yeah, let's see how far we can get. Things were getting really uncomfortable with the wind getting stronger and stronger by the minute. Another big challenge of shooting in wind like this is the pigeons will always go and sit on thin branches. They will sway around and the wind will push them around, and this then all comes down to timing. You have to time your shot absolutely perfect, and the only way you can do that is go out and practice. Now at Patriot Outdoors we've got the boat which simulates this. It's a moving platform where your shot is not stable and you have to time your shot absolutely perfect, and it's a perfect place to go and practice it as well. And this is what we do as well, because conditions like this aren't always out there to go and practice in. You have to kind of practice that at a range somewhere, and when the conditions do present themselves, then you're good and ready to go and your timing will be spot on.
I say straight down. I had a hold 1 mil for the wind there.
This time Tillman calls the wind perfectly, and the result is a perfect impact.
Say, he's down.
He did?
100.
Yay!
In this shot it might look like Tillman is aiming for the bird on the right, when in fact he's actually aiming for the bird on the left. The wind does take it a little bit too much to the left though, but it still impacts well enough, and the Javelin does the rest. So why come out and shoot on days like this? Well, I find it very satisfying to test your skills in conditions that you know are very difficult, and to know that you've practiced and you've done your part, and then be able to come out and hit your targets is extremely satisfying. And it's a lot of fun. It's not very comfortable, that is true, but we enjoy it a lot and we love shooting. It's our passion. So for us, just being out here is great. Short one, 40 meters. This was an easy one, but I'm not going to say no. And he's down 64 meters. Yeah, it's not easy trying to time your shots, but so far we're having good luck. There's a saying, the more you practice, the luckier you get. Just before we go, I just want to give a massive shout out to Donny and Yolanda from DonnyFL. They've supported this channel from day one, not only in silencers but in so many other ways as well. They're awesome people, 1 in a million. I mean, they are so passionate about this industry and the products they make, and that's why they are so good. So go check out their website, go check out their products, and support them as well, because they do so much for this industry and for the people working in this industry.
Say 45 meters.
An easier shot for Tielman, and again he does an excellent job in following this one down to the ground.
Yes. 63 meters.
Excellent timing again from Maggie, and this one gets destroyed.
Yes. 40 meters.
And there you go, Maggie ends it with a perfect impact. Right, that is it. The weather has really turned for the worse now. There's rain coming down, it's dust everywhere, the wind is gale force. It's not fun anymore. We got to get the equipment out of the rain as well. So if you like this video, hit the like button, please remember to subscribe, and then we hope to see you next time. Cheers.